I'm your host, Robert Winston, and tonight we are here for the finals on night number 2, and it's exciting to be here. And tonight, make sure you're tuning in for the several events coming up. The event 23 coming up, men's 100 breaststroke multi-class, followed by the women's 100 metre breaststroke multi-class. We've also got the men's open 200 metre and so on. So it's going to be huge tonight. Also got the men's 200 metre medley, and also men's 50 metre freestyle, women's 50 metre freestyle, men's 200 backstroke. So thanks for tuning in to this absolutely magnificent first up event. Event number 23, the men's 100 metre breaststroke multi-class. Varying S-classes coming up in this field. So the whistle blows and we will just about ready to commence for the proceedings tonight. Stephen, welcome to the commentary box tonight. It's exciting for you to be here and exciting to witness such a great event coming up. So from the top to the bottom of your screens, we have in lane 0, Ahmed Kelly. In lane number 1, Matthew Levy. In lane 2, Blake Cochran. In lane 3, Matthew Stark. Lane 4, Jake Mikkel. Lane 5, Aymeric Parmentier. Lane 6, Liam Schluter. Lane 7, Evan Austin. Lane 8, Robert Griswold. And in lane number 9, Amy Omar Dadadon from Israel. So after the first 50 metres, it's Mikkel who hits the wall first, 32.76. Second, Parmentier, 33.46. Third, Schluter, 35.62. And at the moment, it's Mikkel swimming very strongly. Really good form through the water and really powerful with his arms. So Mikkel, Parmentier and Schluter first, second and third respectively. And they come up to the final 10 metres of this race. And Parmentier hits the wall in first position. So really well raced there.
A visitor all the way from Belgium.
So we welcome Stephen finally to the commentary box tonight. Welcome back.
Thanks very much, Rob, and welcome to all our viewers all around the world. Welcome, sports fans. It's a beautiful evening for swimming. There's been a lovely presentation before the telecast started of some really wonderful former swimmers from great days going back to the early 1960s. And I don't wish to speak over the top of the swimmer in lane 9 from Israel, Amy Omer Dadeon, and as he comes in to touch the wall off a classification of SB3, the crowd claps him, and so they ought. And that is a very, very good swim by him as well.
So the final results just done on a points basis. So Jake Mikkel with 8.57, Evan Austin with 8.10, and in third position we have Matej Levy on 7.76.
So if you're looking at this screen in front of you at the moment for the first time, the timelines on the right-hand side do not necessarily disclose who's the winner. It's the points on the left, and that's why they're in that particular order. And the points on the left are calculated by reference to the classification, taken off the world record time, and that gives you the number of points. And so we now move to event number 24 on tonight's program, the women 100 metres breaststroke multi-class. We have visitors in this race from the United States of America, from Japan, from New Zealand. We got 2 visitors actually from the United States. We have visitors to Victoria from Queensland. Ruby Storm's come up from Traralgon, and she's a regular competitor here at MSAC and well known to all the swimmers who watch and parents and officials who watch age swimming.
She's been impressive all weekend, Ruby Storm.
Yeah, a 16-year-old. She's been hard at it for a number of years now and does a club in Traralgon a great credit, as she does to her family.
So often racing here, and in lane 0 it's Herzog, lane 1 Thomas Kane, lane 2 Storm, lane 3 Stevens, lane 4 Leonhardt, lane 5 Van Rich, lane 6 Tsushki, lane 7 Greenwood, lane 8 Howarth from New Zealand, and lane number 9 we have from USA Lettenberg. So it seems the 3 middle lanes at the moment, Stevens, Leonhardt and Van Ryswick, doing really well in the early stage of this race as they come up to the first 50 metres. And in front at the moment, it will be, I believe it's Stevens who hit the wall first, and it looks like Leonhardt and Greenwood right up there in the proceedings. So they come back for the last 25 metres of this race. Some varying class in athletes here. We got the S9s, S14s, S13s, S9s, S7s, and S6s competing. So keep in mind the point system. When they hit the wall, the fastest time doesn't necessarily determine the winner. So over in lane number 5, it's Van Ryswick who comes. Lane 4, Leonhardt touches the wall first in the time of 1:18.61. Van Ryswick, time of 1:20.24. Stevens, 1:20.46. In fourth position, it was Tushwishki with a time of 1:22. And not far behind Green, Storm, Stevens, Thomas, Kane, Howarth, and Herzog just hit the wall in 1:39.93. And
the computer's calculating the points as we look at the screen at this very moment. And you'll see those results come up on your screen shortly. And whilst that's being done, we welcome now to the deck the next event, which is event 25, which is the Men's Open 200 individual medley. And I'm looking forward to seeing this race tonight. And plainly the head coach for Swimming Australia, Jaakko Vaharin, is as well, because he's here watching all the swimmers in Australia to see where they're at, what they're doing. He talks to the coaches, he talks to the swimmers, and he's got to know who's who in the zoo at all times. And that's one of the reasons why he's here tonight. And he'll be particularly interested in a lot of these swimmers, whether they're showing potential or whether they're showing in future Olympics or showing potential for Olympic trials. And in the middle of this race is David Schlick, Shibom Lee, Brendan Smith and Bradley Ashby. And that is going to be a hell of a race between those 4, not discounting any swimmers on either side of the pool thereafter.
looking forward to see how Shibom Lee's had a magnificent meet so far.
We have the age champion William Petrick in lane 0, Callum Prime, Sasanto Schlick, Shibom Lee, Brendan Smith, Ashby Curtsey, Peregrina and Heinz Sydenham. And David Schlicht and Brendan Smith can renew their wonderful competitive experience that they've had all the way through age group swimming, and only separated by the talented New South Wales swimmer Shibom Lee as they complete the butterfly leg. But it's Curtsey out in front, just like he was in the heats this morning. He's rolled out a 25.67, and that's pretty good going. But it's Ashby next to him, and in the middle of the pool, Shibom Lee, who's got a very strong backstroke leg, and he's powering through. Schlick's there to his right, Smith's there to his left. And it's Seabomb Lee leading into the wall. Brendan Smith's got him covered just about, I'd say, as they move to the breaststroke leg. And the question now is, who can even the balance of the abilities up? And David Schlick's going very, very hard after them because he's the best breaststroker in this field. And as you can see that in front of your eyes, he's hunting down Seabomb Lee, who's taking it away from Brendan Smith. Schlick's after him. On the left of Brendan Smith is Bradley Ashby, and he's no dusty breaststroker either. But Seabomb Lee seems to be holding onto his lead, and he touches the wall in front, and he's got a gap that's uncomfortable for the second and third place swimmers, I can assure you of that. And it's Seabomb Lee, the 18-year-old from the Carlisle Swimming Club, out in front doing the Carlisle family proud as he comes down the middle of this pool with two very special swimmers on either side of him, and Bradley Ashby on the outside lane in lane 6. They're reeling him in. Brendan Smith's going hard. Will he get him? I don't think so. Seabomb Lee won.
Magnificent race, Stephen. Seabomb Lee took the lead in that third leg and gained the ascendancy and brought it home strongly with a beautiful freestyle.
It's a very well executed race from the New South Welshman, and you can see he hasn't got much left in the tank, as you can see him on the screen. He's won gold medals at age group swimming, and the question is, can he convert that into the open company?
Exciting race.
Now we're coming up to the B final now.
Exciting heat number 2.
These are the swimmers who are the next rank of 10 after the top 10 qualifiers. So there's the age champion Evan Shee in the middle has got the best time amongst these swimmers as from the heats in this morning. He's got Adam Selwood and Tyson Caddy on either side. The elder statesman of the competition, Finn Dyson from Furbank Aquastars, is in 6. Josh Gilbert in lane 2. And let's see if Evan Shee's got much in the tank at 15, because he's had a hell of a program. He's done just about everything except the wood chop, and we're only at the second night. And he's still in the middle, and he's leading out, but he's got a lot of pressure being put on him by Tyson Caddy from Surrey Park, and Adam Selwood's there as well. And who's coming out first? It's Caddy. Cheese third, but it's Laidlaw from WM Propulsion, who's at third at this stage in lane 9 as they move into the backstroke now. And it's still Tyson Caddy from Surrey Park, who looks like he's got a very comfortable backstroke technique as well. It looks smooth, but I can assure you he's going hard. But Evan Shee's reeling him in a bit, because there's hardly a stroke he can't do well at the tender age of 15, the Caulfield Grammar boy. And he's just only about 0.3 away from Tyson Caddy at this point, and Laidlaw still in third with no change to the first 3 positions after 2 legs. They're now into the breaststroke, and we've said it once, we've said it 100 times. This can set up the championship or the heat win for any swimmer. And if they're going to be any good at IM, they've got to be good at breaststroke. And Evan Shee is certainly that. He's taking it away from Tyson Caddy now. And Adam Selwood is still hanging on to third position. I think Laidlaw's ducked away down the field a fraction now. Yes, well, it's Mitchell now. It's the swimmer from Rackley who's moved himself into third position, but it's still Evan Shee out in front. And when you see this position of what this young man did, this is what he did every race in every final at State Age Championships in December, when he did it to all the 15-year-olds. And to see him do this in open company is a very exciting thing. We wish this young fellow all the best, and he will be very happy with that swim, I can tell you. 2:07.52. That's 3 seconds or thereabouts quicker than he swam this morning. Tyson Caddy in second from Surrey Park. And I think it's
His third Gurry.
Jack Gurry who's come through beautifully. Well done, Jack. One of the very leading, respected figures in it at Surrey Park is young Gurry, as is his father.
Exciting race and exciting future for Ivan Chi. Has a big future ahead of him for Australian swimming. So go to a medal ceremony. So that's some great scenes on your screen there.
Now we welcome to the deck now the 10 fastest entrants into the 800 metres event of this championships, and you won't be surprised to know that Jack McLaughlin and Mac Horton are in the middle of this race, and Jaakko Vaharan is positioning himself to watch the two of these swimmers go at one another. They did it last night in the 400 and McLaughlin took the honours, and I'm not going to make a prediction here because you never ever tip against a champion. So we'll see what Horton does, whether he can turn the tables on McLaughlin. Schultz, Shi, Rogerson, Reid, McLaughlin, Horton, Wilson Sim from Malaysia, Vandenberg and Thompson, and they're in the starters' hands.
Sim was very impressive in this morning's trials.
That's a clean start. There was no movement of any swimmer at any point, and Horton's come out beautifully. And I tell you what, I can see already, it's a big call, but he's in some pretty good form, Mac Horton here. Now McLaughlin's going to try and sit on top of him and stay on top of him all the way, and that's certainly the intention of Zach Reid. Now Zach Reid is a very good swimmer as well, and he looks like he's had a lot of hard work under his belt in earlier races coming into this event. It's Reid at 27.26, McLaughlin 27.73, and Rogerson 28.04. And it's those three gentlemen are the first three swimmers in this heat. Mac Horton settling into his rhythm in the middle of the pool, and you'll see some variable speed from Mac at multiple stages of the race to position himself to where he wants to be. And it's still Reid out in front at 56.87. McLaughlin and then Rogerson. Elliot Rogerson is a considerably capable swimmer, but we have Jack McLaughlin, who's you can see on the image on the right hand side, coached by the famed coach Vince Raleigh. He's got a gold medal at the Pan Pacs, a gold medal in the 1500 freestyle, and who will ever forget that race up in Queensland on the Gold Coast, and good luck to him, and he's going to look forward to a great career. Mac Horton needs no introduction, whether it be in Melbourne, whether it be in any part of Australia or most parts of the world. He's won the gold medal for the 400 freestyle in Rio. He's looking as well to set himself as a leading figure in the 4x200 metre relay at the Olympic Games, and he's won that gold medal in World Championships, so he's going to be very hard to dislodge from that team as well. And it's the word on all the gentlemen's lips, the 200, 200, 200. I want to be on that 4x2. I've never heard such talk. It's usually about the 4x1, but it's the 4x2 that they want to win at the Olympic Games. And so good luck to Mac in that quest as well. But it's Zach Reid still out in front, I think.
McLaughlin putting on the pressure.
2:26.99, McLaughlin 2:28.50, Rogerson 2:30.97, Horton 2:30.97. in fourth, and I'm not convinced that he would want to be in this position at this stage of the race, but we'll soon find out. He's keeping in touch though. Reid it is. He's into a beautiful rhythm, and look at the quality of the turns. It always marks the senior top flight swimmer when you see the quality of these turns. Verhaeren is watching this like a hawk. Craig Jackson is watching this like a hawk. Horton's coach is watching it carefully. Verhaeren is taking particular note of what these 4 and 5 swimmers are doing. This is very, very interesting viewing for all of you at home. Let's not forget that Mac Horton's staple go-to swim was the 1500. He's able to back to the 800, and he's a gold medalist in the 400. So with the appropriate amount of work under his belt, he's in the top bracket of these swimmers in the world. And let's not talk too much about him, because it's the local men, McLaughlin and Reid, who are letting him know we can do this distance in Queensland as well.
And welcome to Jeff Sabun from Auckland, wishing his well wishes. Thanks for tuning in, Jeff. So it's still Reid, and not far behind him, McLaughlin, slowly but surely trying to pull in this lead from Reid. So they're going at it in lane 3 and lane 4. And it looks like on this 50-metre leg, McLaughlin's really reeled him in Reid. So they're going to hit the wall. It's still going to be Reid slightly in front by about half a body length. So 4:28.60. He turns in the lead, but McLaughlin putting on some great pressure there. Horton's made some inroads in lane number 5, 4:33.77. And coming fourth position is Rogerson in lane number 2.
Well, it's the New Zealander from Aqua Blades out in front, Reid, so he'll be giving those New Zealanders back over there who are watching this on the live stream plenty to cheer about, because he's having a go. And I've never seen a swimmer come across to swim at MSAC who hasn't been trained and goes well and goes hard when they come over. And Reid is no exception to that, and he's hanging on, but he's got a very hard nut in McLaughlin, who's right on his shoulders. And I suspect McLaughlin's pretty comfortable with what he sees and where he's going to be. And it's now stroke for stroke there. And you can see the thrust that McLaughlin's getting into the wall, and he's taken him. It's now McLaughlin 5:29.31, Reid 5:29.33. Darius Schultz is coming in third, so he's put a big kick on, as I think.
So it's a 2-swimmer race at the moment, and McLaughlin looks like he's going to take the lead in this 50-metre leg of this 800-metre event. And it's going to be McLaughlin hitting the wall just in front of Reid. He comes in at 5:59.34. Reid in second position, 5:59.87.
Horton through in third at 6:06. He's got Standham 7 seconds at this stage. Now his coach, Craig Jackson, has given him the wave. The program's come out. It doesn't come out for anything other than a reason when you've got a swimmer at this level. So he's told his man, get up and get going. And we'll see what he's got in the tank to do so. Elliot Rogerson's still there. He's in fourth. As they make the turn, there's nothing between the McLaughlin and the Kiwi Reid.
Yes, it's been an exciting race.
Horton's coming to the wall now. 37.41.
So Reid's starting to pull away here in the last 25.
McLaughlin's out in front still.
McLaughlin, should I say?
He's making this event his own now. His pet distance, as you saw on the graphics, the 1500. The whistles have blown, so there's only 100 metres left to go. So it's a raffle at this stage between McLaughlin and Reid. They've got the 2 top medals sewn up. Craig Jackson's given his charge a big wave now to saying there's some other things I want you to achieve in this race, and one of them's to get going. And Horton's at a stage in his work, no doubt, where an event like this is not necessarily, I would infer from this, not necessarily the sort of thing he's wishing to take out for any number of reasons, because what we're seeing is an utter champion being taken to the all the distance by Jack McLaughlin and Reed, and Jack McLaughlin is showing himself, and he's done so now for nearly a year and a half, as the just about the preeminent 800, 1500 swimmer in Australia at 7:56.96. That is 9 seconds slower than Mac Horton's personal best, so that gives you an idea. Zach Reed is second at 7:59.01, and Mac Horton comes in with 8:07.34. Horton's in the middle of work, and May premiers are not to be adored in the AFL, and neither are February premiers in swimming in an Olympic year in July. But it was great viewing that race. Every time I see Jack McLaughlin swim, he never lets you down. And so he would be very, very, very happy with what he's done there tonight, and I venture to suggest maybe his coach is too.
So a little bit of love from Karen Holmesby, who is currently in the Solomon Islands, wishing the Smith family all the best in tonight's meet. So thanks for tuning in, Karen Holmesby.
You can see the graphics that come up with the rest of the placings, so there was no need for me to announce them. We have a medal presentation.
Second place from the Nunnawading Swimming Club, Brendan Smith. And in first place from the Carlisle Swimming Team in a time of 2 minutes 1.98, Sibon Lee. Medals being presented.
Certainly one to watch, Seabum Lee, 15-year-old. Got a big future in front of him.
There's the Coaching Brains Trust of Nunnawading there on the screen, and the head coach of Swimming Australia behind them. We now move to event number 27, which is the women's 400 metres freestyle, and the current record holder of that event is Molly Batchelor, 4:09.23 that she swam 2 years ago, as you see the introductions going on your screen. The 800 metre freestyle champion from last night, Johnson. Medalist last night, Karina. Abby Carney is one of the dominant middle distance age swimmers in Victoria at 14, 15 and 16. She's recently turned 17. And Chantal Underwood is a talented 16-year-old who's recently moved to Nunnawading. They're in the referee's hands. Now the starter's hands. The starter from France, Francois Ancey, has got them off beautifully and cleanly. A flawless start, and away they go. And it's Carney out in front. Johnson, I think, is showing us what she's capable of. And it's Fairweather as well, who's looking like going to lead them into the wall. Erica Fairweather from the Neptune Club takes it out in 28.81. Second is Woods, and third is Chantal Underwood from Nunawading, the 16-year-old. So it's Fairweather still who's holding the water quite nicely. Moisa Johnson's got standing her up about 2.5 lengths at this stage, and Karina Doyle as well. And he's holding her position and taking her good form on from last night's medal-winning performance. But it is Erica Fairweather who's out in front at 16 from the Neptune Club, who's got a nice rhythm there. She's holding the water very well just after the catch. There's a bit of kicking happening there with a few laps to go, but I'm happy to say that we can welcome now to the microphone the national coach of Australian swimming, Jaakko Verhaeren. It's a pleasure and honour to have you join us here this evening. Welcome, Jaakko.
Thank you.
Tell me this. What did you see in the race before, in the 800 free?
Well, I was a bit distracted because I'm talking to a lot of people. But obviously, what you do see is that the guys are in pretty solid training. So there's not a lot of speed, early, easy speed, as they sometimes call it. Also, these good distance guys, interesting coming, particularly Jack McLaughlin. They just had the distance camp, national distance camp, which went very well. But it all shows that they are in hard work. So what we're looking for in these meets for the elite athletes, it's not their best times, but solid races, good race plans. Mac was really trying to focus a lot more on his skills and those kind of things. You know, Mac isn't particularly a great in-season swimmer. We know that. Sometimes you wish a little bit more, but yeah, that's how it is.
Jaakko, I was saying at the start of this championship yesterday that in recognition of the point you were making, for the top end swimmers, it's not about the times, it's about the process in a championship like this. Would you see it that way?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We're at the moment, I'm encouraging as much as I can the coaches to have their athletes focused on swimming fast in the mornings, because there's Olympic morning finals, and in the evenings, of course. And it really pleased to see that, for example, Jess Hansen yesterday, I think she nailed that. So that means, you know, that they haven't qualified for the Olympics yet, of course, but it is good that is front and center for them. And I'm telling every coach, you know, swimming fast twice is twice the learning as well. You don't learn a lot from floating into a final and then have a crack at night. That's not the reality of international swimming. So we very well, although they might not swim their personal best times, we're aiming for these meets to make them valuable. If they come here, swim fast twice, look at your processes. You know, these are the times that coaches and athletes can tweak what they should change in their racing plans and all those kinds of things. So they surely have a great value for us.
Well, Jess, I think went 107 low yesterday
morning.
morning.
Swim, by the way, here.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. With great respect to Fairweather, she's come in with a 4:07.23, and Moisa Johnson, the 800 metre gold medalist from last night, second with 4:15.63, and Karina Doyle has finished with third, and Abby Carney, the middle distance champion I was mentioning earlier from the Cheltenham Club, fourth. Molly Batchelor's record has been taken, and we'll just see Molly Batchelor, see what she thinks about that as she jumps in the B final. Just coming back into the water in the last few months. It's great to see her getting back into the swing of things. From the top, Victoria Bushell, Batchelor, Kinder, Cooper, Donato, Anais Johnson, Ella McDonald, Walton, Brosnan, Dominique Hart from Loretto Aquatic. If I can just continue with that line of discussion, Jaakko, what did you see to be important for the learning from trials before the games, the last major competition with a 6-week gap, Australia taking this big change forward to the timing of trials? it's commonly said that seems to have been a success now. There's no, that won't be changed for quite some time. Are you happy with how that's going?
Yeah, incredibly. I think post Rio and actually pre-Rio we started talking about it already. These changes, we shouldn't take these changes lightly, because of course the former system, qualifying in April, has worked for a lot of people pretty well as well. But we felt like we need to change a few things, and the considerations were more. It was not just to copy, or actually it wasn't to copy the US system, but it was really to deal with the challenges we have in this country after qualification. First of all, we're in the Southern Hemisphere and dealing with winter. So going into winter where the Northern Hemisphere is going into summer, we can go to warmer weather places like Cairns to prepare with the whole team. We have the team together for longer, so we spend 2 weeks in Cairns, then we go a week to Nagaoka, and then we go to, last year we went to Korea for World Championships. That seems to have a great impact on team dynamics. We can work a bit more on relays as well, and we saw that last year as well. The relays were particularly good, I thought. So just shifting the dates is not all. It also deals with team dynamics, preparing in warmer weather. Maintaining the focus for 5 weeks is something entirely different than trying to do that over 3-4 months after qualification. And particularly in the Olympic season, where there's a lot of attention, there's potentially a lot of distraction after qualification, because then suddenly you're an Olympian. And to move that closer to the major meet, those were the biggest considerations to do that.
Jaco, the world is a smaller place. Every 10 years it becomes smaller and smaller. You're a testament to that fact here as the head coach of Australia, having been Peter van den Hoogenbaan's coach, and the thought in the year 2000 that the architect of the destruction of a national hero would end up coaching the Australian team is probably not what everyone had in their minds at 2000, and I venture to say it wasn't in your mind either. Having put it that way, the world being a smaller place, one of the features of children as they're growing through their teens is their consciousness of that, and it doesn't necessarily flow that when they finish school they'll go to university or do something in Australia or in the same state, and the world becomes a bigger place for them to do it. And communications enable that, and there's a considerable offering all around the world for all sorts of children to do all sorts of things. And I see now that it's being said in a lot of the schools, well, we're delighted because we've got 8 children from a rowing crew, or 2 children from a swimming program or a baseball program who have been given opportunity in England or in America or so on and so forth. So now, whether we as swimmers like it or not, the opportunity for them to have their education and maturation and development exists not only in Australia but in other parts of the world. Now I see that as a positive for the growth of a teenager, and I see one of the knock-on effects, if I can put it that way, of this change. It means that there's not necessarily opportunity closed for the top-end swimmer who can perhaps look at setting themselves up for life after swimming with a Harvard MBA.
And
so what would you say to the parents who have got the 10 or 20 swimmers in Australia who are looking to swim elsewhere, that they might also be thinking of your program too?
Yes, yeah, and so it is true. The world hasn't become smaller, but we definitely get easier to different places. I think for a lot of these young athletes, it's a great experience and a good life experience for them to go somewhere else sometimes too. That is definitely not a negative. Also, even at the younger ages, to sometimes have a few more sports that they do before or even during their maturation. We did quite a lot of research in that field, led by Jamie Salter, our pathway manager, has done a great job partnering with Sydney University to you know, actually what it means in these age groups. How should you train? How much? What should be the diversity, etc., etc. So, yeah, there's a lot happening in that space, but it's definitely, yeah, there's many roads that lead to success. So let's not try to just dictate one.
That's great to hear. We'll just watch this butterfly final here before we continue this discussion, and let's see if William Yang continues his domination over this event. Bowen Goff on one side, Matthew Temple on the other, Luke Jebby, Edward Marks, Theodoros Benahoutsis in lane 7, but William Yang looks like his famed underwater work is doing him well at this stage of the event as well, and he's just being threatened big time by Temple, who's commencing his international career in fine style, but it's Yang first, 23.91, Temple second, 24.11, and Theodoros Benahoutsis in third place, and he won't be too unhappy with 24.43. We're going to go to the B final now. Benno Negri, Tyrone Crees, Nick Layton, Chris Dawson, Kieran Mullen, Samuel Williamson absolutely slaughtered it in the heats this morning. We called him a breaststroker and he turned us around in 50 metres. Jesse Mutia, Jacob Whittle, Joshua Harper and Harrison Hines in lane 9 from Southside. I'm interested to see how Williamson goes tonight. He swam a very handy 25.62.
Certainly very strong in qualities this morning.
I think he's got the 200 breast later, I expect. There's some delay.
So thanks to the 87 live viewers at the moment tuning in to the Facebook live stream. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. If you've got any comments, make sure you leave them below.
You'll see on your screen William Yang, Temple, Benahoutsis, 1, 2, 3.
So it looks like Corey Taylor is one of the substitute swimmers coming in to Heat 1 of the Women's Event 31 finals. So one swimmer goes out and Corey Taylor will be in that final a little bit later tonight. So out goes Maggie Skews and in comes Corey. So often racing here in Event 2. Benno Negri, Tyrone Crease, Nicholas Layton, Chris Dawson, Kieran Mullen, Samuel Williamson, Jesse Muta, Jacob Whittle, Joshua Harper and Harrison Hines. And as we come down to the last 25 metres, all swimmers across the pool. It's hard to pick a winner from here, but it could be Hines in the middle. They hit the wall.
Whittle. No, Chris
Dawson.
25.41.
Really, really clean, quick race, that one. Couldn't pick a winner from 10 metres out.
Whittle second, 500th slower. Kieran Mullen, Jesse Mutia, Williamson with a 25.91.
You can see the top 7 swimmers separated by less than half a second. So it was a real
That A final was pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Some good swims, and you know, it's good to see. Like, of course, William Yang, but great prospect for the future. Matt Temple.
Yes, indeed.
Did great a few weeks ago in China during the Champion Series, and it's good for someone like him. We didn't have a lot of Australians there. In fact, he was the only one. But the other one were very busy in the pre-season already with ISL racing and things like that, and this was his opportunity to do some international racing, and he did that very well. Getting a win on that stage in a very different competition was big for him.
Swimming Australia has come out very strongly in support of the ISL competition for a number of different reasons, not the least being granting an opportunity for its famed swimmers to get some benefit in what they do. How do you see the contribution of ISL going forward?
Well, I must say it's incredibly exciting to just be part of a good change in the sport. It's I've been to 2 of the meets in Europe myself, and it's so engaging. It's a different look at our sport, and it's actually giving people the podium they deserve. So
I see.
yeah, very good.
Does it make it harder for coaches?
Different.
You
I wouldn't
see?
say harder.
Interesting.
I think we need to adjust to professional sport, and many sports before us have done that. Cycling, for example, we see it in all the team sports. You know, getting up and race more often than you used to, traveling more than you used to, training in different environments, actually being coached by totally different coaches. I think it is great, and it was a great asset this year actually to get that racing under your belt.
Yes, that was very clear.
Yes.
That the benefit of the intense competition over short course really, really lifted the skills of some of the Australian swimmers.
Absolutely, absolutely, and also to show that the Australians are actually pretty good at it.
Yes.
That's, you know, it's good to see that and to get that early race experience where now very much people are focused on racing a lot more, on training a lot more.
Yes.
But they have that experience under the belt, and that is a good thing.
It's Kayla Costa coming in to take this championship out, and the time of 59.96 from the Nunawading Swimming Club. Alice Stewart second, and Jelana Kukla third. You must be pretty pleased to see a swimmer like Jelana Kukla, who was a totally dominating 13 and 14-year-old swimmer at that age, still swimming and competing at 24. That's got to be encouraged, doesn't it?
She must love the sport, and I think in fact she does. She trained very close for a while where I live. That's in Robina on the Gold Coast, and she trained at Somerset with Ash Callis for a while. And yeah, it's great to still see them going. It shows how wonderful our sport can be, also for a long time.
I remember it said at the time she broke through that she also had a great history. You're talking about the different sports. An active gymnast, and her skills as a gymnast as a young child, the hardness of being able to do what you have to do, translated when she got into the swimming pool at 12, 13, 14. Bang, she was off the charts, and the records that she had then are still standing. That's how good she was.
Yeah, and there's a lot more of these examples. Well, I think a big example is Carl Chalmers, you know, playing AFL for a long time until he made a decision, I'm going to become a full-time swimmer. And yeah, it pays off, you know, not too early specialization is actually good for all of our athletes.
Well, Mia Holer looks like she's going to take this out. Bethany Dalgleish from MLC Aquatic in 102.93. She's just about the best butterfly of her age going around. She's won that, and Mia Holer's come in second, and she's enjoying finishing school and getting a bit more into the swimming. Jaco, can I ask you this, and I haven't heard you being asked this before. What are some of the challenges that you faced coming to Australia, a different country, a different culture, from the European experience that you had growing up? You're a European man who was cultured in the way you grew up in your own nation, in a different language, with incredible respect held for your great swimmers and therefore yourself. And how have you found coming to Australia, the Wild West, the wild outback, the knockabout Australians who can only speak one language and it's Australian, when in fact you've grown up in a pan-European environment?
Yeah, well, so far it's been a great adventure and very good. Of course, it's I think myself as well as Swimming Australia dove a little bit in the deep by appointing a foreign coach. Although we knew where we were heading towards, but
good for all of us.
You can never predict an outcome, but I really believe that. And that's not for myself, but sometimes it's good to have different eyes casting over your system, trying to look at the things different way, because that's undeniable. I look with my European glasses to Australian swimming. I must say I love the culture and the history of the country in swimming, because it's huge and it's something that I believe in Europe we don't cherish enough. And they definitely do that here. So You know, you don't want to break a culture. You definitely want to keep recognizing a history. But sometimes in sports, changes are required, doing things different than you used to do. And well, you touched on ISL, you know, but there's also people are going to race more and more like World Cups, ISL, World Short Course Championships. We see a lot more people these days preparing through meets and not just through training. And that is the future of our sport. So all of us need to keep challenging ourselves and think differently about what is the best possible preparation for my athlete. Everyone is different. Some people need to train more, some people need to compete more. But that's the way. And I hope I was able to bring so far something to Australian swimming and something different for sure.
Well, it's very plain that you're a person who's comfortable with other people and capable of communication, and came to Australia with a fresh heart and a fresh mind, and you could take people as you found them, and then open the doors for everyone to come and talk to you, and that's an enormous value to Australian swimming, and we're grateful that you've been prepared to do that, Jaco. If I can ask you this, you've had a close circumspection of this sport now for 25 years. At least 25 years. It's 2000 that you had Hoogie, and you weren't a novice coach at that time.
No.
And that's a lot of years. Now, you look like you're 25, so let's not get too fancy about it. But can I ask you this? The great swimmers come to mind immediately. So we've spoken about Thorpe, we've spoken about Hoogie, we've spoken about some of the charges that we all know in Australia. Could you share with our listeners some of the things that you've seen in a particular swimmer or two that mightn't be rolling off the tongue as, Michael Phelps, or it's Katie Ledecky, or it's someone. A character feature of a particular swimmer that you think is amazing, and why? Who mightn't have even won a medal at Olympic Games.
Just a generic swimmer, you mean?
Yeah,
like,
any swimmer. Just give us a name of a swimmer or two that has really impressed you because they've got every single thing they can out of their body, and done that, walked away from the sport without that Olympic medal.
Well, let me give
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
It's easy to say Phelps is the greatest of all time. It's easy to say Ledecky's the greatest swimmer, perhaps female, of all time, putting aside Shane Gould and so on and so forth. But what we're seeing here is a meet with hundreds and hundreds of people that we don't largely know at all on the Australian scene, let alone the international scene. And I'm just wondering whether there's one or two people that have really struck you in your journey as some people that you've learned from, who've done the very best they could with what they've got.
Yeah, well, maybe if you allow me, I can answer that question a little bit differently. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but let's have a go. I think as a coach, and I started coaching in '89 when I was 20, so I'm really now 30 years, somewhat on deck, and. I've enjoyed always, because I started as a club coach, and professional coaching in the Netherlands wasn't that big, definitely not at that time, and definitely nothing compared to what happens here in Australia. So I started coaching club teams with a group of 40 kids.
Yes.
And not just kids, ranging from, let's say, the age of 14 to some master swimmers of 34. You know, like. And I've actually always personally enjoyed working with each and every one of them. And some in the Netherlands, you know, they won state titles and didn't go beyond that. Some became Olympic champion, some became world champion, some became Olympic champion. While the impact of coaching an Olympic champion, of course, is a lot bigger for everyone. The satisfaction as a coach to progress people to a higher level, for me, and seriously, it doesn't matter. You can be so excited for somebody pushing their own boundaries, improving themselves, and that gives me so much joy. And it's sometimes really difficult to explain. The job from a coach, let's say the context of an Olympics is different, but the job is the same. You know, we're all working with people and trying to make them swim faster.
Well, there's a group of coaches down there, some of which you'll know, some of which you won't know, and I'd like to get that message out to them when I see them next, because some of them will have heard that no doubt in coaching conferences. But I must say, in my little journeys in this little town, I bump into coaches who are dismayed from time to time. They're sad. They've got pressures from this quarter. They've got pressures from that quarter. Has this happened? Has that happened? And I try and regularly, and I must pinch myself here, convey that message that you've just conveyed. I think it's therefore, if I can put it back to you, an enormously valuable message for all our listeners, because the coaches are out there day after day doing their best, and it's the swimming parents and the athletes and everyone around who should all be trying to produce the outcome that you're just trying to speak of, aren't you, Jaco?
Absolutely. And I must honestly say the passion for swimming in Australia, the work ethic of coaches is unrivaled. That is I've never seen that before. The amount of work the Australian coaches put in their athletes and clubs and everything. And that is what I'm seeing, and that's what people wake up for every day, right?
Well, when we turn on the TV for the first week of the Olympic Games, the only thing that's on anyone's mind is your team. And your team bears the hopes of a nation, and Jaco, if I may say so on behalf of all our listeners, we're enormously grateful that you've spent the time to sit with us tonight to convey some of the messages that you've conveyed. And if I can ask you in closing, if you could indicate to us some of the things that you're hoping to see in this team going forward.
Well, what I'm hoping to see is we had let's say over the last 4 years, because we've been, towards Rio already, but after Rio, we started really planning for a 4-year cycle. And with all the changes, we rehearsed our strategies over and over again. And the 5 weeks turnaround is only one of them. And what I saw last year at World Championships was really a team that could cope with basically anything that they had to cope with. And there was quite a bit, to be honest. So I think if you see that, and this is going to be the 7th Olympics that I can experience, and resilience, adapt to a different environment and adapt to whatever comes along, that is the gift of every successful athlete. So if we see that in our team, I'll be very happy, and results will follow.
I'm delighted to hear that answer, if I may. It's all about the effort that these fine young people put in, and thank you very much for leading them in the way that you do, Jaco, and I really appreciate you coming to the microphone and speaking to us all tonight.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jaco. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So we go back to the event 32, men's 200-metre backstroke, and so it's Jeff Coate, Hollard, Goff, all 1, 2, 3 as they hit the wall, and it's Lee in the front, 130.36, followed by Jeff Coate, 130.39, and Hollard, 130 just behind. So it's a 3-swimmer race, but it looks like Lee out in lane number 5, getting the job done here. And he's absolutely storming home in the last leg here. And he's going to come home, and he hits the wall in a time of 2 minutes, 0.32. In second, Jeff Coate, 2:01.96. And Hollard in third position, 2:03.06. It was a classic race there. And it was magnificent to hear the Australian swimming coach. And what a great chat that was, Stephen.
Well, listeners and viewers, I hope you didn't mind the walk we took you through. It's not very often you can get someone who's a significant figure in swimming around the world, let alone in Australia, at the microphone, and apologies to the families of all the swimmers if we didn't pay too much attention to some of the, at least in commentary, to some of the races. But we hope that there was something brought to you of a little window into the calibre and character of the man that we have heading up our most famous and loved team in Australia.
It's absolutely brilliant hearing from such an expert in Yako. So one to watch in the upcoming Tokyo Games.
That was a remarkably good swim from Seabom Lee. He's on tonight, so he's taken the 200 IM, the 200 backstroke. Tristan Hollard was very, very impressive in the heats, but Seabom's turned the tables tonight. We move to the B final now. From the top, Ryan Lobo, who put in a cracking swim this morning. Gerhard Smith, Adrian Chong, Taddy Hines, Syndham, Churches, Chi, Smith, Farr and Jacket Simpson. And so what we're seeing in spades here is some of the better backstrokers going around in age in Victoria, coupled up with some experienced operators from interstate in the middle lanes. And as they're coming into the first turn, it looks like Jason Churches at 29.15 rolling through first, Adrian Chong second and Gerhard Smith third. But Churches looks to me like he's going very, very well. There's, you can throw a blanket over the rest of the field, but it's Churches demonstrating a lot of ability there. And he's got a nice pull, as you can see there in the left arm. He comes into the wall. Let's watch the turn. 1, 2, bang. That's a snappy turn. That's good. 101.05. Gee, that's great swimming. The lactic acid will be starting to pick up in the legs here. It's a killer of a race, and those legs really start to sting, and it starts to really sting in this third lap.
Certainly a good turnout here tonight, Stephen. It's good to see the family and coaches and volunteers and also supporters of all these athletes coming out on such a beautiful Saturday night here in Melbourne.
Well, as Elton once said, and he's still, I think, touring Australia, Saturday night's all right, and it's all right here at MSAC, and it's all right here in the Hines Sydenham family, because the Churches family, well, that family too, but the Churches family are going to be celebrating here because he's going to bring this home comfortably and easily. He's actually turned the taps off a fraction there. I might be doing him a discredit, but a 2:08.69's a handy time. Evan Chi, the 15-year-old, he's there again, and he's borne down on him for second, and Tyson Caddy third.
So we move along to the women's 100-metre backstroke, Heat 1A final.
Before we do that, it looks like we've got a presentation which gives us an opportunity to welcome Rear Admiral Anthony Schlick to the microphone. How's the view from the deck?
Very good, very good. Very good indeed.
We're sorry you got here a bit later. We had the head coach of Swimming Australia, Jaco Verhaeren, in the seat, so we took an opportunity to have a somewhat suitable substitute for you before you arrived.
Well, I noted that. That's why I didn't come in.
Oh, modesty befits you these days.
Yes. And there wasn't any more chairs.
Now, this 100-metre Maggie Skews, MLC Aquatic. Lovely smile there from Maggie as she's getting herself set. Zavadova, Galloway.
I want to watch Galloway. I'm looking forward to seeing her swim in this final.
Olivia Lafoe from MLC. So they've got two swimmers in this final.
Wadi Negawati again doing the multiple strokes.
Now, Anthony, are you doubling down and backing Hayley Baker again tonight?
Yes, but not by as much. I think Olivia Lafoe's going to be a big chance as well.
Yes.
There's McQuinella.
So we're at the start of this Heat 1A final, and the women are set. And all swimmers beautifully out of the blocks, gaining some real ascendancy right onto the water. You can just see how far they can push. And early on, it looks like Ngwati in lane number 7 is in the slight lead, but over in lane number 4, it is Baker who's off to a great start. All the swimmers across all lanes have started this event well. So
Layla Day's coming out nicely too. I think she's going to turn into second. Layla Day second, Baker third, Lafoe fourth, Emma Godwin third, and so it's between those 4 swimmers in the middle. Hayley Baker looks like she's getting a hold of this race now, but Lafoe will not let go. She's got no let go, and she's coming through hard now, Lafoe. This is on. This is dead set on. Anthony might have picked this. And it's a close finish here with
close.
about 5 metres to go. 1, 2, Baker, Lafoe, Day.
So Baker with a time of 1:01.40, just pips Lafoe. And that was an exciting race, gentlemen.
Well, the MLC swimmer and Lafoe will be pretty happy with that race, even though she's been bloused on the line. I suspect that's a PB. I don't think she's gone under 1:02 before. And congratulations to all the swimmers and particularly the medalists.
Yes, her previous best was 1:02.68, so she's done very well as we go to a medal celebration, medal ceremony.
Oh.
So we're going to move along to the 100 women's backstroke B final. So the whistle as the ladies jump into the pool in preparation for this B final. So if anything to go by the first heat, the second heat certainly will be exciting. Some seriously talented swimmers. And often racing in this women's 100-metre backstroke. Beautiful form by all swimmers, but out in lane number 4, it looks like Woods got the best of the starts, and Pryor out in lane 8 looks the goods early on in this race. But out in lane 4, it looks like Woods has come out strong, and all swimmers across all lanes are swimming beautifully at this current stage. They're spread across the screen, as you can see. It's either going to be Woods, Costa or Beck who's going to hit the wall in first position, but no, it's Hawkins. Just picking out Woods and Costa. That's 1, 2, 3. So Hawkins turns for home in front, and it looks like Woods is taking over this race in lane number 4, followed by Costa. That's Woods, Costa, Hawkins, and potentially Ewan Booger. But it looks like Woods in lane 4, steaming home, and she will hit the line in first position, does Woods, in a time of 1:03.98, followed by Holla, who swam a beautiful second half of that race. As the times come up on your screen now. So Woods 1:03.98, second Holla 1:04.76, and Uten Bogart in third 1:05.17. As we're joined due to the commentary team. Would you like to introduce yourself, fellow swimmer?
Yeah, how you going, guys? My name's Tim Roberts.
Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, still swimming a little bit these days for Surrey Park, but I commentated last year and the year before, so it's always good fun to get in the box with you guys.
So welcome along.
Thanks, guys.
So are you enjoying the proceedings of the finals tonight?
Yeah, it's been good so far. It's been some quick times, especially this time of year. You know, some guys are always in pretty heavy training, so it's been good. Some good standards, and some big swimmers around the world coming down. A lot of Paralympians as well, which is great.
Yeah, great to see the Paralympians come not only from Australia but from
across the world,
all around the world.
Yeah,
some really talented athletes out there. And would you like to tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your swimming history in the past?
Nah, it's all good. We're just concentrating the guys. Just
No worries.
now. It's more about them than me, so don't worry about me.
We might maybe get your perspective on a few of the swims.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
upcoming. So that was Heat 2B final, and we're going to move along to event 34,
100 breast.
The men's 100 breaststroke.
Some quick times this morning in the men's 100 breast in the heats.
Yeah, there was. They were. I
think I saw. Did Sam Williamson only make the B final? I think actually.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. He's a perennial national finalist, so it shows the standard.
So thanks for everyone joining in on the Facebook live feed. Canberra Amateur Swimming Club. Let's go, Hayley. So a bit of love for Hayley there. Way to go, Andrew, from Dennis Murray. We've got Cindy Hickmott. Great to see yellow and black on the podium. And PSC, great stuff, Andrew. So currently 95 live viewers. So if you are watching, make sure you tell your family and friends to give that a like, share, or comment. We hope you are enjoying this coverage tonight.
So we've got in lane 0, Thomas Pearson from WN Propulsion, David Schlick from MLC Aquatic in 1, Cameron Jordan in 2, Daniel Cave in 3, watch out for him. Zach Stubley Cook Chandler, he's the favourite by a long way. Adam Selwood from WN Propulsion, Mario Kotzenberger from Howard Pakarunga, Joshua Gilbert, EVO, Josh Pickett, and Zahn Collins in lane 9. And they're away. Looks like Daniel Cave has
taken it out quick, hasn't he?
Taken it out very quickly. As we get
and,
the sounds of Neil
Cohen
Diamond.
Spuger, is it Cohen Spuger? He's also got it pretty quick, Mario Cohen Spuger.
Yeah, from all the way from New Zealand.
Yep.
In fact, it's Studley Cook who is turning first by Cave just behind in second.
Yep.
And out in Pickett, out in lane 8, Mr. Pickett.
Yeah.
Joshua Pickett.
Cave's taking up to Stubley Cook here.
Yes.
Looks like Stubbity Cook
just pulling away
in the last 10 metres of this race. Cave in second position, but it's going to be Stubbity Cook.
It's a great swim.
First with a time of 1 minute 5.2, Cave 101.15, and Cohen Spurger with a time of 102.75. So all the way from Howick, Pakuranga in New Zealand. The 22-year-old comes third, so coming across the Bass Strait. We're happy with that result.
I think it's the ditch, not the Bass Strait. That's Tasmania.
We call it the ditch, yes.
Now we're into the B final. Lane 0, Ryan Bicknell from Nunawading. Kieran Jasing, Surrey Park. It's a teammate of yours, Tim.
Yeah, he's a
Julian
quick young lad.
Cartwana Waters in 2. William Petrick, 15-year-old from Nunawading in 3. Sam Williamson from Furbank Aquastars. Big surprise he not making the A final. Matthew Joubert from South Shore. Clayton Fowler, Southport in 6. Calvin Reid in 7. Joshua Hargraves in 8. And 9 is Jack Charlton. On the blocks now.
Samuel Williamson, one to watch.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
He'll be smarting from...
Interesting how much quicker he can go tonight compared to this morning.
And he's away early.
Yep, he's looking strong early.
Wanting to...
It's great to see young William Petrick in the final as well, only 15, coming against some 22-year-old, 23-year-old boys. It's a good experience for him.
So coming up in lane 4, it looks like it's Williamson who will hit the wall first, 29.69. Followed closely by Jasing in lane 1, and Jubat in
Kieran's a teammate of mine. He
5.
always goes out quite hard, so the question for him is whether he can hang on.
So he's looking the goods at the moment.
Yeah,
Williamson in lane
strong.
4. He's leading by half a body length, but Jubat putting the pressure on the outside in lane 5. And don't discount Fowler out in lane 6. It's Williamson holding on. But Jubert just going to overtake him over the top.
Oh, I think he might have got it.
And
Williamson
no,
just gets it.
Williamson held on. Jubart put the pressure on, and Fowler not far behind.
Came at him strong, didn't he?
Yeah,
Looked
2
like-
100s.
Looked like Jubart was coming over the top there in the last 5 metres.
Yeah,
Exciting final in the B final.
it's a great race.
As we go to a medal ceremony.
Is that email? Yeah. Can I get a photo of that? Oh, instant. Yep. I'll put up a photo later.
So upcoming events, women's 200 metre breaststroke, both A and B finals. So gentlemen, event 35, women's open 200 metre breaststroke. Liesl Jones holds the record, Victorian record for this.
Yeah, 13 years ago. Long time.
Back 2007. So if you do follow swimming, you'll know the name Liesl Jones, famous Australian swimmer.
Yeah, just a handy breaststroker, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was good in her day. She was probably still pretty handy these days.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
4 Olympics, so speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Eventually got that elusive gold medal in the, I think it was the 200 breast.
In Beijing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Be interested to see what Jess Hansen can go here. Obviously been at the world champs the last couple of years in Com Games, so hopefully she can post a quick time.
And obviously all these lead-up events are so important for,
Yeah.
obviously, in an Olympic year. Tokyo is not far away.
Yep.
So these girls will be looking to go as hard as they possibly can. So
Yeah, you often see a lot of these top guys do the Vic States, the New South Wales States and the Queensland one. Just some quality racing coming into trials.
So racing from top to bottom, lane 0, Taya O'Dell, lane 1, Cassandra Van Brugel, lane 2, Michaela Smith, lane 3, Zoe Deacon, lane 4, Jessica Hansen, lane 5, Matilda Smith, lane 6, Tara Kinder, lane 7, Helena Gasson, lane 8, Phoebe Harris, and in lane number 9 we have Jasmine Tran. So hitting the wall in first position after the first 50 is Hansen, 33.38, followed by Deacon, 34.14. And as you can see in the right-hand bottom of your screen, Jess Hansen, 2019 World Swim Champ Silver in the 4x100 medley, and back in 2018, the Pan Pacs Gold and 4x100 medley. So she's had a great career thus far, and she'll be pushing and persisting her chances upcoming. And she's certainly doing well in the race tonight. Out in lane number 4 is Jess Hansen. So
Looking strong early, isn't she?
we're coming down to the halfway mark. Good time there, 1:10.69. She'll be doing Nuttawading Club proud. Second, Deacon, 1:11.21.
Yeah, not far off, is she? Teammate of hers, I
Young
think.
gun, 16-year-old. I've been watching her the last 24 hours on day 1 and day 2. Kinder's really putting up a good race
Yep.
in lane number 6. But at the moment, it's all Hansen. And I'd love to get your perspective. Her strokes through the water, she's really powering through.
Yeah,
in
very
this-
efficient, isn't she? Yeah,
third,
holding, maintain that stroke rate all the way along.
in the third leg of this
And then she'll probably build in this last 50, you would have thought.
200. So she comes, she hits the wall, 148.73. Deacon 149.63 and Kinder 151.39. So let's see if she can challenge this Victorian final. The record's been held since 2007 by Liesl Jones. She's really going strong and really powering through the
Tara
water.
Kinder's doing a great swim, obviously, is what you said, the 16-year-old.
No, she'll be about a 27.
Yeah. And Deacon's taking it right up to her here, though. This would be a great swim by Zoe Deacon, too. Pushing her right to the end.
So Liesl Jones,
Yep, good call.
should I say Hansen,
Yep.
had Liesl Jones in my mind, 227.87 comes in first, and Deacon second, 228.88. And Kinder, impressive 16-year-old, 230.65. So B final. So outs in lane 0, we have Bianca Walton, lane 1. Makey Vri, lane 2, Michaela Smith, lane 3, Anna Lee, lane 4, Riddell Smith, lane 5, Misha Wibowski, lane 6, Nikki Chapman, lane 7, Nisha Kij Kanakorn, lane 8, Chow Hyun, and in lane number 9, Elena Pistrin.
Some tough names to pronounce there.
There is.
A couple of big names.
That's why I'm behind the microphone. But as the race goes on, hitting the wall first in the first 50 is Smith, 34.22, followed by at lane number 1 is V. Rij,
Yeah,
35.
Like a Fry. They pronounce it Fry, and she's Dutch, she was telling me. So
They pronounce it Fry, do they?
Fry, yeah. It's a hard one to say, isn't it?
Especially
The spelling.
the spelling. So
Yeah.
Smith in the lead, certainly powering along at the moment. And strokes look very impressive as she swims past the commentary box. And as she approaches the
Yeah, Riddell's going out really strong.
third leg, she's going to have a commanding lead going to the last half of this race. She hits the wall in 1:12.93. Wiabowski, time of 1:15.34 in second, and trailing not far behind his lead with a time of 1:15.44. But at the moment, it's all Smith, who seems to have powered away in the third leg.
Yeah.
And her strokes are getting stronger along this race goes on, and then pick who you want coming in second or third. But at this current moment in lane number 2, it's all Smith, and the rest of the field's going to be struggling to catch her.
She's got a high stroke rate, hasn't she, Riddell Smith, for a 200 breast compared to sort of Hansen and those other guys in the first heat.
And she's got to, you got to remember, she's only 15 years of age from the Southport Swim Club. So some
I think
No,
Got
not
the
a
wrong
Not a
Smith.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong
Smiths.
Smith. So out in lane 4, it's Smith, and absolutely powering away. It's a real battle for second or third. Out in lane 5 and 6, it looks like Wabowski and Chapman. So it's going to be an interesting finish. And don't
They're coming at her strong here, the last.
discount Lee out in lane number 3. So it's going to be Smith who's going to take this one out. Wabowski, Chapman and Lee all chasing for minor placings. But Smith from go to woe, she's taken out in 2:36.30. Wabowski 2:38.26, just pips Chapman 2:38.96 in third position, and Lee in fourth. So that was an exciting race, and
Good swim by Riddell there, wasn't it?
Yeah,
She was entered with 2:38 to go 2:31.
No, she went 2:30.
2:32, is it?
so Riddell Smith,
2:36.
17-year-old
Sorry, 2:36, sorry.
from Nunawading,
2 seconds quicker.
she's broken her PB there.
Big boys up here in the 2 free.
Yeah, this will be an interesting
Should be a
race.
great race.
Jack McLaughlin coming back, Cam McAvoy,
Yep.
Mac Horton,
The,
although he's not swimming.
Just some household names there.
Yeah.
The lactic acid, after all the swimming they've been doing from this morning and also yesterday, this is where they're getting that real conditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously in the just speaking to the Australian coach before, these are the events they love to contend in, just to get that the conditioning
Yep.
for the
exactly
upcoming
right.
meetings. You know, there's
Multiple races while you're fatigued, and then come in fresh when it comes to the big meets.
and then obviously as they hit the Olympics later in the year, you know, the Cairns training camp and getting to those warmer climates as well.
Yep.
Just to really build towards the event everyone wants to be a part of, Tokyo. So,
Exactly right.
So these are the type of events as commentators we love to watch, and as spectators, I hope you're enjoying the broadcast live on Facebook and also YouTube. Make sure you leave your comments below. So beautifully clean start from all swimmers across the lane, and in lane 5, McLaughlin looks to have the early lead.
Shows
Ben-
how fit. Sorry, you're gone. I was going to say how fit some of these boys are. Having Mac and McLaughlin in the 800 only an hour ago, and they're right up again in the 200.
As I said, the lactic acid
Yeah.
builds up over the
Just
night.
shows how fit they are.
Definitely. So hitting the wall first, coming up here. It's really
Hunter.
close, but Hunter,
25-6.
25.6, Sim, the international 25.8, and McAvoy. Really, he'd be happy with that start, McAvoy. So as the race continues, it's a race between Horton, Hunter, Sim and McLaughlin, and as you can see, we have Jack McLaughlin, age 25, from the Chandler Swimming Club, coached by Vince Rayleigh, and an absolute star in the making. 2018 Pan Pacs gold medal in the 400 freestyle, and in 2018 at the Gold Coast, he participated in the 1500 metre freestyle, and he also won gold. So Jack McLaughlin, an absolute star, and at the moment he's really doing well. And also 25-year-old Chris Nesbitt from Club TCC Aqua, and he two-time Olympian and won bronze in the 4x100 free relay at the 2016 Olympics. So
Cam seems to be pushing away a bit here as the race is wearing on. They're coming back at him now.
absolute stars, McLaughlin and McAvoy. So
McLaughlin's coming home strong.
he definitely is. So with 10 metres to go, say
So McLaughlin might have
three
this.
swimmers race, and
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin got it.
McLaughlin,
150.3.
McAvoy not far behind. Just pipped him, did McLaughlin, and the international in Sim. He'd be happy with that swim. 22-year-old from Malaysia. And it's good to have these guys coming from
Yeah, it is, isn't
the
it?
international ranks. Just to have that competition, because they're going to be racing come June or July. So
Yeah, it's great to have international swimmers. Adds a bit more atmosphere to the comp, I think, as well.
we've got over 20 flags, as you can see in the great camera work. Yep. So we're coming up to Heat 2 B final, and one to watch, young Evan Chi at lane 0. So clean start from top to bottom at lane 0.
So we've had a few pull out here, have we?
Right.
Who's
We've
pulled
had,
out?
We've had David Morgan's gone into the first heat,
Yep.
and so the
Evan Chi.
Evan Chi I don't think is in there. And,
And who else has pulled out there?
I think, and then one of the alternates would have gone up. Cale Venz from
Yep.
Southport will be in. No, Evan Chi's in lane 0, but I don't think that's right.
Not a great look having no one in lane 4, is it? Or lane
No.
3? Lane 4?
Lane 4.
Yeah.
So while we focus on lane number 6, it looks like Sasanto
Yeah,
in
Marco.
Hines' side coming down. And it's going to be Sasanto who does hit the wall
Yep.
after the first 100 in the time of 55.97. Peregrina 56.10, and Whittle not far behind 56.45. So this is like in footy, probably the
Premiership quarter.
premiership lap, as I
Or
would
Premiership
say.
lap, yeah.
So this is where the swimmers really want to set themselves up for a big last 50.
Yeah,
So-
build that third 50 and then come off the wall strong, and whatever you got left, put into that last 50.
And Sasanto has pushed off the wall beautifully gained 15 to 18 metres just by going underneath the water.
He's got a very strong backhand normally, Marco. His first 100 is always a bit slower and he always comes home pretty strong. But these other boys are pushing him here.
So look at Whittle in lane 5. He's really pushing him right to the end.
He's really coming home strong. It's a great finish
Great
by Whittle.
Finish
I'll
coming
get him,
up.
I think, here.
Yeah, I think he's going to get him.
Yeah, I think he's overpowered in the last. Yep.
Susanto, Whittle. They go to the line,
Yep.
and it's Whittle who just pips Susanto.
0.1 there, 0.2.
Just
Good swim by
0.1.
those two boys, 154.
Yeah, no,
Both quicker than what they went this morning, which is good.
that's what they aim to do. Kevin Davey says, great to hear your voice.
Oh, did he? Oh, thanks, Kevo. He's a good friend of mine, Kev Davey.
So there we go.
Known him for many years.
So a bit of love out there.
Yeah.
So currently 82 live viewers. Thanks for commenting, thanks for sharing. And over the course of the weekend, we've had over 20k tune in to this live stream.
It's great numbers. I think swimming always gains a bit of popularity in those Olympic years. I think a lot more people tune into it coming into the big comp, as we know.
It's just great to see. I've learnt a lot about swimming in the last 24 hours, and it's great to see the para-athletes do their great work as well. And obviously the the Olympians that we've got swimming as well. So if you are free and you're around the area, just remember it is free entry for all friends, family, mums, dads, kids.
A little bit confusing walking around. You've got the Grand Prix all set up as well, but it should be pretty easy to find the pool, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Burning rubber and water
Yeah.
don't go well together, but so we move to the women's event number 37. It's
Splash and dash.
It is the Splash and Dash women's open 50-metre freestyle, and the record, Victorian record held here is Marieke Guher in 2009 with a time of 24.87.
Marika was a very good butterflyer as well. And in lane 0, you've got Olivia Lafoe from MLC Aquatic, Kayla Costa and Nana Wadding in 1, Luchavel Stickland in 2, Isabel Eckelmans from MLC Aquatic in 3, Julia Hawkins in 4, Becca St Vincent's in 5, Elaine Kukla in 6, Layla Day in 7, Imogen Thackeray in 8, and Nazia Ikasidikas from Q in lane 9.
It's great to see Yolande Kukla back swimming fast, isn't it?
Looks like
yeah.
Kukla's out in front with the halfway point of this
Yeah.
race. So we've got Kukla and
Julia Hawkins, I think Hawkins
yeah.
might get her here at the touch.
Yeah, Hawkins.
it's going to be
Oh,
Kukla.
Kukla
Kukla
might
will
get
get
it.
it. Kukla.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Hawkins.
no, Hawkins.
25.9, it's a good swim.
Yeah. Elaine made the Malaysian Commonwealth Games in the 53 and the 50 fly.
Yeah. Because she really burst on the scene, was that sort of 6 or 7 years ago now, I think?
Or
Yeah,
earlier
maybe
than that.
longer than
yeah.
now, yeah.
Yeah, she burst on. She first 13-year-old to go under a minute.
So the Splash and Dash,
Continues.
Yep.
off go the women, and
Got a 14-year-old in here, Holly Neville from Cheltenham. That's great to see. There's a lot of young girls in this one. Some 14-year-olds and 15 and 16-year-olds.
the halfway point of this race, it looks like House and Neville out in lane 7, and don't write off Kim. So I'd say Neville.
Yeah,
and
Neville's going to get this one on the look of it.
going to be
Yeah,
racing
Neville.
strong,
It's a great swim
beautifully swum
for a
there.
14-year-old.
So
27.2.
her family would be absolutely ecstatic with that result. Neville, well done to the young female, future star of Australia. In second, Underwood 27.26 and House 27.
Yeah, Shani Underwood's also only 16, so a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old winning that heat.
So we're going to move along to the men's 100-metre backstroke. Multi-class. So plenty of S categories in this field. So we've got some great swimmers from. Got a bit of a multicultural feel, bit of international flavour. Got Dakota Kubota, who has been racing really well. I'll rephrase that. So we got from Israel, Mark Mailya, only 19 years old. From New Zealand, Jesse Reynolds. And from Belgium, we've got Emeric Parmentier. So there's a bit of international flavour in this race.
Yeah, a lot of internationals.
It's great to see and welcome them to this great event and great city in Melbourne. Imi Cooper says hi, Timmy.
Oh, yep, another good friend of mine. Tuning in. It's good to see that they're tuning in.
Getting a lot of love, Tim, so I hope you're enjoying the love.
I'm enjoying it, yeah.
Poolside, and hope you're enjoying the commentary.
Oh, loving it. I think I'm booked in to come in tomorrow night as well. Should be good. Always love getting around it.
So just for the viewers, if you're unaware, we've got several S classes here. So the first to finish doesn't necessarily mean that is the winner. It's done via a points system, so we won't know the result until all athletes have finished. And it goes based on the record of this event. So great start by all athletes. And early on, it looks like out in lane number 6, should I say lane 5, Hodge and Beta off to a great start in lane 4 and 5. And in lane number 3, Schluter also with a great start.
Liam Schluter takes a much slower stroke rate than everybody else. So I'd expect him to be able to come over the top of it at the end of the race.
So out in lane number 6, we have Welsh, who's performing really well. But right beside him in lane 5, Hodge.
It's a good dogfight here, isn't it?
And not too far behind is Beta, but it's at the moment
It's
Hodge
to win this.
going to just come over the top, and he does. Welsh in second. Good times there, 103.74, 104.15. And Beta 105.03.
Looks like Hodge has got the most points there on 8.86 at this point. Yep, I think he got the most points there, Hodge, so he wins that. 8.86.
So we'll just get the official results coming up on your screen now. We go to a medal ceremony.
We have the event 39, the women's 12 and over multi-class 100 backstroke. Lane 0, Isabella Vincent. Lane 1, Elizabeth Smith from the USA. Catherine Downey in lane 2 from Perth City. Madeline McTurnan from St Hilda's, Western Australia. In 3, Katia Dedekand from USC Spartans, up there on the Sunshine Coast. Michaela Neitzel from USA, only 16. In 5, Jasmine Greenwood from Bay and Basin in lane 6. Ellie Cole from Mox Pimble, New South Wales. Camille Baroob, Canada, and Alia Lettenberger from the USA. So a very multicultural and international field here.
Got heaps.
Ellie Cole a little slow to get in. Now they're set.
Ellie Cole's quite a famous name these days, isn't she? Kind of a household name. She's been around for a long time, a very successful multi-class swimmer.
Yes, originally from Melbourne and then went to Sunshine Coast and now at Knox Pimble.
Yep.
So
Certainly a veteran of the pool, but she's done some fine things in her career, has Ellie Cole. 28 years of age. So 3-time Paralympian and 15 Olympic medals, including 6 gold. So if that doesn't inspire the young generation coming through, well, I don't know what will. So an absolute star of the pool. At the moment, she's out in lane number 7 and about a second and a half behind Downey and McTurnan. Dedikine's racing well, and she's had a magnificent meet so far. About in lane 5, it's Neitzel from the USA, doing a great job. Great swim strokes, good ratio. And with 10 metres to go, she's going to come in first position. She's had a really good meet as well.
It's a good swim. 877 points.
So Dedikine's in first, McTurnan in second, and Neitzel in third.
It's a great swim, 877 points. Almost 100 more than her next competitor there.
Been impressed with Dedikine and Neitzel all meet too. They've raced a lot of races and they've swum very well, so ones to watch. So the official results: Dedikine with 877 points, Ellie Cole with 789 points, and we're going to a medal ceremony.
Originally from Sydney, and then she went to Perth, followed her coach, and now back up on the Gold Coast.
And thanks to Sharon for sharing this live stream, getting more people on board for this fantastic event. Great to see these athletes with a big smile on their faces. First, second or third, it doesn't matter. They've got a medal around their neck.
Yep.
And to all the other participants, they'll just be happy with making the final and participating. So
exactly right.
Sometimes it's not always about winning. It's about beating your own PBs and having your own goals as well. So
especially this time of year with this sort of racing, it's not really about PBs. It's more getting your race plans right, coming into those big comps in April, May, June. So all these guys just be practicing good race habits, getting ready for those bigger meets coming up.
Yep. The Auburn Swim Club's had a good alumni here. Been seeing plenty of those red and white shirts over the weekend. Quite a good looking kit from Auburn Swim Club, and it looks like they've got quite a few good swimmers who have come out of that club as well.
Yeah, strong program, haven't they?
It's good to see the lot of Kiwis come across the ditch. Seem to be enjoying this Melbourne event as well.
Well, they're getting the warmer weather, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic today, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, it's gone from 36 yesterday to 20 tonight, or 19 today.
Yes, well, it's still a heat wave for the Kiwis.
Yeah, true. Especially if they're down south.
Down south, yeah.
Now, we're waiting for the
4x2, isn't it?
Yes, and
yep.
it's
women's 4x2.
Women's first.
Yep.
Now, this is a function of having got through the program so quickly.
They're not ready yet.
They're not ready.
Yeah, we are running ahead of schedule, aren't we?
Yes. And
so as you can see on the bottom of your screen, the 2020 Vic Open Champs and World Para Series here at Albert Park, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. And the venue is the Melbourne Sports Aquatic Centre. This magnificent venue was actually the first opened in 2006 for the Commonwealth Games, which was held here in Melbourne. And the facility holds approximately 2,500 people. And it's been maintained to a high standard for everyone to use, both the public and also athletes. So if you are in town, if you are in Melbourne, make sure you come down to this magnificent venue for a swim. There is a wave pool in the public sector as well, and equipped with all the elite latest facility, gyms and everything that goes along with a facility such as the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. So Yeah, just a little bit of history about this magnificent venue that we're sitting in right now.
So yeah, it's a great pool to swim in summer when it's warm. It's probably not the nicest pool to swim in when it's cold and windy in winter, is it? So
No, something magical about jumping in a cold pool as well, though. It's
yeah,
a little,
when the steam's coming off,
when the steam's coming off.
here come the girls. They're coming out now.
So we're running so far in front of schedule. The girls weren't quite ready.
Yeah, well, some of them would have just raced. I reckon they would have just been warming down almost. They've had to come straight back out. So see how they can tolerate the lactate after a 50 or one of the events they've done so far.
So moving up to the women's 4x200 metre freestyle relay. These are the events I love to watch.
Yeah, they are good.
Because of the tactic side of it.
Yep.
So just because the team's behind on the first leg, second leg, your strongest swimmer can be either A, finishing it off, or if not, in the third leg. As we said, the
Exactly right.
premiership quarter.
Yep.
So we've got heat 1 of 1 in lane number 2, Yeronga Park. Often racing. So lane 2, Yeronga Park. Lane 3, Nuttawading Swimming Club. Lane 4, Methodist Ladies College Aquatic. Lane 5, Nuttawading Swimming Club. And in lane number 6, Northcote Swimming and Loss Saving Club. So
MLC, the hot favourite here, qualified. Their time entry is 4 seconds quicker than the next best of Nuttawading A. So should be a good race. 4 seconds isn't that much in a 4x2 either.
So Underwood, as expected, hits the wall first for Nuttawading. It's on at 28.83 for Methodist Ladies College. Ekelman's 29.51 and Gubeka for Yeronga Park in third position at the moment. But
Shani Underwood looking strong early. I used to train with Shani for a while, and she's a fantastic trainer, amazing trainer and an amazing racer. So she's extremely competitive, so I think she'll post a pretty good time. You would have thought this 4x2.
Well, she's
looking strong early.
Early indications would suggest that she's going to set her team up for a serious chance at winning this race.
Yeah.
So Underwood, good time, 1 minute .05. Elkerman's not far behind, and Gubeka. So that was the 1-2-3 after the 50 metre stage, and the 1-2-3 at the 100 metre stage. So it's still Underwood in control, but Ekelman's putting some pressure, about half a body length behind. So this is the third leg of the first stage for the swimmers in this 4x200. And it's been 1 Underwood, 2 Elkerman's, 3 Gubeka from start.
Elkerman's coming home strong here.
So here we go. Elkerman's is going to be probably leading this leg.
Yep.
Overtaking Underwood.
Really strong second 100 there.
And looks like really just powering through the water in these last 10 metres before the next swimmer comes into contention. So good time, but not much between the first two, Methodist Ladies and Nuttawading.
Yep.
So Elkerman's good time there, and Underwood really good swimming. So it's going to be Caldwell in lane 5 for Nuttawading and Lefoe in lane number 4 for MLC. And don't count out Yeronga Park.
I feel it.
Davidson Mack is a really good swimmer.
They're still in touch, aren't they, at this point?
They certainly are.
Couple of seconds off.
But if they keep going out hard, if they...
In the men's? I'll do some in the men's. Yeah, I'll do some Bruce McAvey in the men's. Yeah. Yeah, just introduce it, I'll do it. Yeah.
So Caldwell and Lefoe, 1 and 2 at the moment. MLC, one of the more elite programs. Not to suggest that the other programs aren't elite, but the MLC swimming program is very well known here in Melbourne. So Caldwell with Nuttawading, just with a slight lead over Lefoe. And Yeronga Park, not too far behind as well. So
Olivia Lefoe, she's a fantastic backstroker. She's won a few medals so far. And
50 free as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Bit of utility, can do it all.
Yeah.
she's had a good meet so far.
Yeah, fantastic meet.
So as they turn to the final 50 metres of the second leg of this 4x200, there's not much in this contest. It's Lefoe from MLC, 3-3.
Just in front of Sophie Caldwell.
Caldwell just behind. It looks like Lefoe's pulled away.
Yep.
About half a body length at the moment. And this is where this is where the mental game comes into it, because each stroke really counts. But look, she's fighting back, Coldwell, to gain some ascendancy going into the wall here. So
Also in the 200, don't be going too hard too early. You don't want to blow up in that first 100.
Yeah.
You've got to sort of still control yourself, even though you're racing the person right there next to you.
So it's going to be LaFaux just to take about a half a second lead for her team.
Now Maggie Skews is in the water for MLC, and Lucy Webster now taking over for Nuttawatting.
Yep.
Maggie Skews has just come down from Wangaratta.
Just moved here, has she?
Yeah, just
Yep.
moved here, boarding at MLC.
There you
so
go.
she's now well within the fold. She's a tremendous age group national and state champion.
Yep.
Taking a bit of a while to obviously acclimatise to the new program, but it's got out to about a body length now. This is where depth counts.
To Jeff,
She's got a handy lead on there.
to Jeff Sabun. I'll check that event 26 for you, 800. After this event, I'll get the results up. So just stay tuned. Just focus on this race now, but we'll try and get that result up for you, Jeff. Thanks for leaving live comments.
Now Skews seems to have got a bit of a break, but not one that's insurmountable by any chance on this leg. Or
You can see her sitting right in the lane rope here as well. You would have thought that Webster might move over to that lane rope and try and catch a bit of that wave, but she hasn't moved over yet.
the wave made famous by John Seaven
Right
back in the 84 Olympics.
Yeah. Webster seems to be pushing back just a little bit here, but
Skews has now got
it's been
away
a great swim
again.
by Excuse. Here we go, the final leg. Is this Molly Batcher on the blocks here for MLC, Tony?
No, it's Bethany Dalgleish.
Oh, okay.
Strong swimmer to bring it home.
Yeah.
And Kayla Costa,
Costa,
who's
another household name.
and I tell you what, she's no slouch over 200. I wouldn't be
No.
I wouldn't be backing against Kayla. In fact, I would.
I've seen her win many, many medals over the years at mixed states.
Yeah.
Kayla Costa,
So
fantastic swimmer.
So
Another
to
one.
Jeff Sabun, you've been asking for a little while. I've got the results here for event men's 800 metre freestyle, event 26. So it was Jack McLaughlin with a time of 7:56.96 in first position. Zach Reed with a time of 7:59.01 in second position, and former Olympic gold medalist Mac Horton in third position with a time of 8:07.34. So I hope that answers your question, and I hope you're enjoying the coverage. So we're down to the final 100 metres of this women's 4x200, and it's a two-swimmer race. These girls are going hammer and tong. They don't want to blow up too early, so it's all a mental battle. So Dalgleish and Costa,
Yeah,
1 and
this is
2
really
at the
tight
moment.
now.
Costa's got in front.
Yeah. We thought Costa would come.
Yeah.
So Costa is going to hit the wall first. So it's going to be Dalgleish to be
Gotta come
putting
home.
pressure, and the crowd's
Yep.
going wild. A lot of support out in the grandstands.
Dalgleish is going at her still.
So Costa pulling away. Dalgleish halfway down this last 25. Last 50, should I say. But Costa pulling away with 20 metres to go. Dalgleish isn't
Oh,
giving
she's
up.
coming back strong.
It's an exciting finish here with 10 metres to
Really
go.
tight finish.
Costa, Dalgleish, they hit the wall.
Costa.
And it's
Costa.
Costa.
I think it shows how talented Kayla Costa is. You know, she's a 200 butterflyer and can hop up in a 4x2 relay and produce that sort of swim.
And the girls are ecstatic there. Congratulations. She really brought it home, did Costa, as we wait for the other girls to finish off. Magnificent. So it was Nuttawatting Swimming Club to take that one out over MLC. And Nuttawatting B finishing in third. So magnificent race between first and second there. It was on from go to woe. There wasn't really no more than probably half a body length throughout the whole 8 minutes of that race.
It's a great race.
And it's exciting to see. And it just goes to show you how talented the Nunawading swim team is. Both A and B qualifying for this final.
Yep.
And taking out 2 medals. So congratulations to the Nunawading Swimming Club. As we go to the medal ceremony.
Here come the big boys out for the 4x2.
Yeah, it's only it's down to 1 heat.
1 heat, yep.
So my fellow commentator beside me, he's known for some great impersonations. Tim can do some fantastic impersonations of Bruce McAvaney, Jared Waitley, David King is a former North Melbourne player, 96 and 99 premiership player in the AFL competition we have here in Australia. And Terry Wallace, a former Western Bulldogs coach, Richmond coach, and he played for the Hawthorn Hawks back in the day, won a couple of premierships.
That's right.
Also played for Richmond as well back in 91 and finished off his career, I think it was with Footscray back in the early 90s. But we'll be hearing a little bit throughout the call, bringing a little bit of comedy and a little bit of humour to this call. As
last race of the night, why not?
As this race is quite a long one, so I'll start it off and then I'll pass it over to you, Tim, probably a couple of minutes in, and you can do your finals work. So,
no worries.
In the event tonight, heat number 1 of 2, we have Southport Olympic Swimming Club in lane 3. I'll rephrase that. We have Western Melbourne in lane 1, Melbourne Vic Centre in lane 2, Yeronga Park Swimming Club in lane 3, Nunawading Swimming Club in lane 4, Northcote Swimming Life Swimming Club in lane 5, Southport Olympic in lane 6, MLC Aquatic in lane 7, Surrey Park Swimming in lane 8, and in lane number 9, Southport Olympic. So, great start by Northcote and Southport by the looks of it.
2 Southport.
So Southport, Stanley will hit the wall first, followed by Smith, and over Western Melbourne in lane 1. So I'll pass it over to you, Tim, and you can do your finest work.
Yes, well, thanks for having me on here, gentlemen. It's Bruce McAvaney here, and it's always honoured to come down and commentate at the Victorian State Championships. I actually came down last year, I commentated with you, didn't I, Tony? I was here last year as well.
Yes, you did, Bruce.
Yes, it's always good to be down here commentating alongside you, isn't it?
Yes, very pleasant to be here, and the swimmers here are good, but not as good as the athletes of Elga Rouge.
Yes, I mean, we've got some stunning and fantastic athletes here, haven't we? You know, some special athletes, shall we say. It's just great to be here. And I've had a big summer off because the tennis is on Channel 9 now, not on Channel 7, so I wasn't commentating that. So I've had a pretty quiet summer, so it's good to get back into the swing of things before the footy season starts.
Yes, well, you didn't even get on the Big Bash.
No, I've never commentated the cricket, so it's been a very quiet summer, but footy season's heating up now. Can't wait for it. And a very strong swim here from Nunawading. Brendan Smith, he's a superstar, isn't he? A distance athlete, can do it all.
And Bruce, how do you consider the swim from the big boys here? Is it a little bit special so far?
Oh, yes, it's marvellous, isn't it? You know, it's delicious to watch, I think, and just some great athletes in the pool. It's just so surprising to see Melbourne Vic Centre actually in lane 2. You know, you'd always pick them to be in one of the middle lanes, one of the hot favourites with some of the big names that they have at their club.
You get the marvellous mixed up with a bit of Richie there.
Oh, did I? Oh, yes. Sorry about that.
So we hope you're enjoying the impersonations from Tim. But out in front is Nunawading, Temple, time of 2:15. NYC Negri out in lane number 2.
Big centre, Benno Negri.
And look like Northcote City out in 3rd position in lane 5. So certainly doing well, all these athletes. And what other commentators have you got in the bag there, Tim?
I've got Jared Waitley here. Say hello, gentlemen. It's great to be on here today. Yeah, it's awesome to be part of the swimming sport. I also commentated the Rio Olympics a couple of years ago, watching Kyle Chalmers storm home in the 100 free. That was a great race. Everyone was picking McAvoy that night, but chose Kyle Chalmers.
Very well said there, Gerard. And how's Fox Footy going this year? Got any big plans with Robbo?
Yeah, Robbo and I have
fine
got AFL
journalist.
360 coming back on Monday to Thursday nights. Our special guest, Barry Hall, and the Chief Dunstall occasionally, and the coaches on Tuesday night, and Players Night on Wednesday. It's a great program with Robbo. We obviously have our differences, but it's a great program and we just love our footy.
So coming up, it's Nunawading still leading this one and have a substantial
Great
lead.
swim by Matt Temple there.
Great swim by Temple, 3:40.58 Negri for the Melbourne Vic Centre. Out in lane 2, and Hollard comes in for Southport, and they're in third position, time of 3:48. And looks like it's going to be Nunawading.
Nunawading right out in front.
Looks like it's hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat.
You would have thought so. And Bowen Goff in the water, he's no slouch, but neither is Big Theodoros Benahusas from Melbourne Vic Centre.
So exciting stuff here from Nunawading as Goff comes into the wall. Look at that split time. So
4-second lead.
Total time of 4:38.32. Benahusas looks like he's made up a little bit of ground. I think he's certainly making up ground here. They're only 4 seconds behind. It seemed like they were further in front from the last split. So Benahusas with a big leg here to try and get to Melbourne Vic Centre back into this race.
Well, they've got Mac Horton going last, the 400 gold medalist from Rio. So maybe they can make a bit of ground here and give it one last shake.
Yeah, Mac Horton. Everyone will know his name, but let's focus on Nunawading. Goff with a beautiful swim. Look at the strokes. Really got a good stroke ratio. Really good calm breathing through the water.
The long-legged Elliot Rogerson in the water next for Nunawading.
He's had a very good meet.
He has.
He won't run out of gas, that's for sure.
So here we go. So we're going for home here. Good swimming leg by Goff. And 5:32. Benahusas made up a little ground, but they're 4 seconds behind going to this final leg.
Yes, what can Mighty Mac do for us here? What can Mighty Mac produce?
And Schlicht, 5:46 in third position for Methodist ladies swim team. So let's see what's happening here. So Rogerson hits the wall, time of 5:59.16. And yes, Mac Horton has taken about a second off that lead. So he's chasing hard is Horton for Melbourne Vic Centre. And Quan in for the Southport swim team in a time of 6:12 coming in third position. So lane 5 Lobo, they're going to be really chasing that third position there. So as Rogerson turns into the corner.
Mac's made up a little bit of ground here. You reckon his second 100 would be pretty strong, being a 400-metre specialist.
So 6:28, and Horton turns 3.2 seconds behind in lane number 2 for Melbourne Vic Centre. But you'd say that Rogerson's got a substantial lead, but he looks like he's tiring a little bit, and it looks like Horton's making up some ground in the last part of this 50-metre leg.
Path left for him though.
So turning for home, Rogerson for Nunawading, 6:57.24. Horton, let's see how much ground he's made up. He's stayed roughly the same, still 3 seconds behind. I can't see Rogerson getting swum down from here.
Great swim by Elliot Rogerson.
So Nunawading really cheering their teammate home, and it looks like the boys in lane number 4 are cheering him home.
The record's 7:26, so they're going to break the record here.
Ooh. Hits the wall.
They have broken the Victorian record there by 0.3 of a second, actually.
So we have a new Victorian record. Mac Horton and the boys look with their smiles on their faces. They'll be happy with their work tonight. And that's a new Victorian record. Congratulations.
Yep.
The all-comers and Victorian record was 7:26.99. They've just gone 7:26.69, so they've taken 0.3 off it.
So you must be excited about that one,
Yeah,
Bruce.
that was so exciting to watch, wasn't it? That was a great race. That record was actually held back in 2016 by the Melbourne Physics Centre boy. A few of those swimmers there. Mac Horton was in that team. Theodoros and Jordan Merrilees, who all swum tonight, actually. So
we're waiting for the final swimmer to come over. And what a beautiful race that was. And so the final results here in the men's 4x200. Nuttawading A with a time of 7:26.69. A new Victorian record as we go to a medal ceremony. And that's what it's all about. Great to see those girls with some smiles on their faces. And thanks for Bruce McAvaney for joining in the commentary team.
Oh, sorry.
So Jeff, I'm not sure if you heard me on the call before, Jeff Saban. The webpage will be updated a little bit later tonight with all the results. But if you're still wondering about Event 26, the men's 800 freestyle, it was Jack McLaughlin who took out that race in the time of 7:56.96. Zach Reed in second position with a time of 7:59.01. And Mac Horton with a time of 8:07.34. So I'm hoping that you are online now, and I hope that gives you an update for now. But the website will be updated a little bit later tonight with all results from tonight's finals. So day number 2, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great to be here. I've been here since 8:30 this morning. And it's been magnificent to watch both the heats, qualies and then finals tonight as we get through a few more photos and medal ceremonies to come. And be aware, day number 3 coming up tomorrow with another great lineup on the cards. So as you can see in the bottom right hand of your screen, hashtag 2020 Vic Open Champs. Join in the conversation for the Victorian Open Long Course Championships. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter and the Facebook live feed. So make sure you tune in tomorrow and hashtag that one. Get the conversation going. We have got a live stream so we can as commentators interact with all the viewers at home. And if you've got any questions, we've had some really great guests, both Paralympians, Olympians. We had the Australian swimming coach on earlier tonight, and we had a great conversation with him. So I hope that we can get a few more notables on tomorrow. Just a bit of a wait and see. So Tim Roberts, Kevin Davey, thanks.
Yeah, just replying to him there, just saying thanks for giving me a shout out there.
We've had a lot of love tonight, Tim.
Yeah, got a bit of support, haven't I, out there? It's good fun. It's a good night of racing, actually. Some really good racing tonight, so hopefully see some great racing again tomorrow.
I just can't, this magnificent stadium that looks so good in the LED lights and just the way it's lit up, with all the international flags, the graphics they've got for the Victoria swimming. The pool looks great. The smell of the chlorine.
I think everyone likes the smell of chlorine. I like how they put the sort of the wall up there now, the swimmers to come out of.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Olympics and Nationals now, which is good. Just adds a bit more to it. I think when the swimmers used to just come out and walk straight to the block, adds a bit more professionalism to it, I think. So
Professionalism, yeah, certainly.
And there's the last medal ceremony.
presentation, yeah, with the Vic record.
Yeah, all comers and state records.
Yeah.
So that's a good effort.
Not a bad record to break, that
That's
one.
a good effort.
Especially with the names in that, well, for the former record, some of those names.
Yeah.
Gerard, Merrilese, Ben Hustis and Horton. So obviously those are some very notable names upcoming for Tokyo 2020. So thanks to all our sponsors in Evo Sportswear, Funky Trunks, Funkita, who are supporting Swimming Victoria, and obviously these Victorian Open Long Course Championships, and also the Para Trials as well, Para World Series. So it's been a magnificent day too here, and we look forward to the viewers tuning in tomorrow. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll be joined early tomorrow morning at 8:30, so make sure you tune in to all the relevant online. Tune into Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's been a pleasure. I've been your host, Robert Winston, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 for the trials and also finals tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching and listening.